All right. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of RJ's Lives. We got a full house tonight. And, if you watched my video yesterday with Zen in the collector's corner, he was having some issues with his phone. And so he was doing stuff upside down and backwards. Well, today we're doing a time travel show because we have Darren from LD's Knives, and he's ahead of us by a whole day. So, welcome, Darren, from the future. And we'll be there tomorrow. As you see, we have in the present day Gunslinger Cal, Andrew from Baxter's Blades, Tom from Knife Delights, and Terry's Knives and Man Stuff. Old Terry himself, he's the man. So I love that workshop Wednesday idea. I think that's really cool. I like that. I might have to do something like that, but I'd have to clean my garage too. So my wife will thank you for that. But
I need all the points I can get.
So how are all you guys doing?
Good. Good. Ate too much food already.
Yeah, feast days will do that to you. I never apologize for overeating on Thanksgiving. That's just it's a time-honored tradition. All right, so Darren from LD's Pocket Knives. He's a young channel. He just started. He's got around 60 subs. So if you guys would do me a favor and go check out his channel, let's see if we can get him closer to 100 than he was earlier today. And we'll go from that. Darren, do you want to go ahead and tell everybody about your channel and what it is that you do and all that good stuff?
Yeah. So, well, I got a few pocket knives, a bit of a collection going, but it's a growing collection. So certainly haven't got as many as some of the other channels, but do a lot of outdoors activities, hunting, fishing, different shows like that. And also have an engineering workshop. So I sort of make a few knives and things and modify sort of tools and axe heads and things like that. So yeah, just a bit of all sorts, really.
Awesome stuff. Now let me welcome in some of the guys here in the chat room. I see Jerome Voss, Ray from North Star Knife Reviews is here. Sean is here. Mike Curtis, Watch City Knives is here. Mikey Newman. Hey, Mikey. Are you still over here on this side of the pond? I'd be interested to know. He's from the UK, but he's over in America. So that's awesome. I hope they're treating you good wherever you are. Let's see here. Who else we have? We have Crispy Critter. And let's see. I think I got everybody. Addicted to Blades was here. So, yeah, thank you guys for coming in. Definitely, we're looking forward to having a fun show. That's for sure. So, Terry, you mentioned a video earlier. Do you want to tell everybody about that video you saw from Tim?
Yeah. If y'all do after the live show, if you haven't already seen it, go over to Tim's School of Fish, and he has done an excellent video on my traveling fish knife. He's got a take on it that I have not seen anybody else do. Really, really good. Tim's very energetic and got good ideas, and this particular video just really pretty awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to Tim. I'd like to have him come back and be a guest on the show as well. He did it one time before, and I'll see if we can get him back on here. He is a lot of fun. So what have you been up to, Andrew? Anything?
Yeah, my Thanksgiving was a complete bust.
Oh, no. What happened?
Well, I went to a birthday party on Sunday, and somebody showed up sick, and then apparently tested positive for COVID. So we're on a big scramble. And so I tested Thursday morning before I went out to the family and the parents, and I tested positive, though I don't have any symptoms other than just like a little congestion. So been basically just doing yard work the whole time.
Well, I guess that's one way to get over COVID.
So no fun for me. They did bring me some turkey and stuff, so that was really nice.
Oh, that's good. Oh, thank you, El Phoenix. He just gifted a membership to the RJ's regiment. Who got that, Tom? You're muted, by the way. And we got another gift too.
Still muted, buddy.
And Mikey did too. Wow, thank you guys.
Tom, you're muted.
Tommy, you're muted.
I was worried that they didn't fix the echo. I think I'm going to be okay. James Alton was gifted a membership by El Phoenix, and we got Blockbuster EDC is a member for a month. I think he just joins. Says, "What's up, peeps?" And Mikey Newman gifted a membership, and who got it here? Oh, Addicted to Blades 2 received that membership.
Nice, fantastic. All right, guys. Well, as you know, if you join the channel, send me an email, and I will send you out a couple of stickers for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support of the channel. That's for sure. That is awesome. So how about you, Cal? What you been up to?
Thanksgiving, family stuff. Been hitting the old mountain bike pretty heavy here lately, so that's about it. Staying in shape.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I think the rest of us are staying in a shape, but I'm not sure I want to define what shape that is. You know?
Okay.
Especially after Thanksgiving.
Even more reason.
Mike Curtis.
Oh, nice. I'm glad, Mike, that your migraines are better. That's for sure. He's been suffering with those this last week. Yes, Jerome, I think most of us had a good Thanksgiving. I did. I certainly did. I always enjoy getting with the family and stuff. And, what's funny is a couple of weeks ago, we had Thanksgiving at my daughter's house, and the whole family came over there. And I had a birthday here a couple of weeks ago, and so they gave me a gift. They gave me this new Kaiser knife, and so there'll be a full review coming on this bad boy. This is pretty awesome. So I'm liking this quite a bit. So it's just a really good knife, and something that I hope you guys will be looking forward to. That's for sure. Oh, and Mikey had his first ever Thanksgiving. Absolutely fabulous. Yeah, that Thanksgiving should be all around the world, right, Mikey? Because I'm going to tell you that there's nothing wrong with having everybody get together and just have a big old feast. Is always it's a good thing. Everybody should do that, I think.
El Phoenix just put in a chat there for you. Hope everyone had an awesome Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did. Do they have anything like Thanksgiving down in New Zealand, Darren?
Not really. I think I sort of did look at what it was, and I think it's the closest thing is our Waitangi Day, which is in February. But we don't sort of all get together for a big meal or something like that. That's pretty much just Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But our national sort of holidays is the Waitangi Day.
What is that? What is
that? That's basically when the treaty of Waitangi was signed, and everybody sort of did that with it when they all came to an agreement, which they're still agreeing now. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so then that's kind of like when you guys incorporated, I guess, as a nation, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, made peace with everybody that was already there, and everybody kind of said, let's be cool.
Yeah, it's an ongoing subject, so it's
Absolutely. Yeah, those agreements have to be ratified. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, where shall we go? Yesterday, I had a really nice overview of Case Stockman with Zen Ali. Hey, Maddie, glad to see you're here. And then, like I said, we went over the Case Stockmans and everything. I thought, we could continue that conversation today because the Stockman is such a great pattern. Terry loves Stockmans. Cal loves Stockmans. And I thought, why don't we just talk about these type knives, these three-bladed knives that everybody's got at least one, I think. I know I have more than one sitting over here next to me, but I just thought we could continue talking about that and show off the ones we have, talk about the ones we don't, talk about the ones we want to add. Cal and I were talking about that before the show on our Case Stockman bingo card, which numbers we have X'd out and which ones we need to get. So it sure feels that way anyways to me. What do you think, Cal?
The list is larger than I realized.
Yes,
I will say, RJ, that the video that you and Zen done was a great video. I was really enjoyed it, and I did not realize. Kayla and I had this conversation. We had a long conversation yesterday. I did not realize that I was so ignorant about Case Stockmans that I am. And I am. I had no idea. There's about 3 or 4 of those patterns that I did not know it even existed. So yeah. I'm calling Kayla and say, hey, what about these right here? And he's laughing at me. He says, well, I don't know either. So, my hat is off to Zen. I do. I'm glad y'all done the video. It's really great.
Yeah, I'm very honored that he chose me to bring that out to everybody. And like he said in the video, he wanted to make the video that he's always wanted to watch, but he's never seen. And when we were talking about it before we did the video, like I told him, I said, I don't think anybody has that complete a collection of Stockmans that's on YouTube of all the YouTubers that I know of. I would think people with a large collection like Jersey Knife Guy, he might have most of those or have at least all the popular ones. But those obscure models that are from the past, I didn't know anything about most of those either. So it was very interesting for me too, and it definitely made me think I need to be searching for a lot more different knives.
Well, absolutely, and I want to say again to Zen that my hat's off to him because that's a very excellent collection that he's got. My hat's off to him. It's great.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. All right, so who wants to show off a knife? Anybody got a Stockman they want to talk about? New or old?
Jalen? Somebody go while I pull one out right here. I got one.
All right,
that's fine. I'll go.
Okay, fantastic.
Just added this one to my collection. Already had one. This is a 1988 green bone. This one's a little bit special though. As you can see, maybe not. It's got some etching on the blade. Come on now. Anyway,
it may not show up.
It won't. It's a 1988 green bone set. I'm not exactly sure how many's in the set, but I did receive 4 knives, and they're all 409 of 500. So that will start us off with the small one. This is the 6333, which is I do believe it is the smallest one. I don't think the 27 is smaller, even though the number's smaller.
Right. That's one thing we learned in that video is that the number doesn't correspond to the size.
Yeah, and I also realized that last time I was saying this has 2 6s, but it's actually a G and a 6. They look very, very similar. So they're all green bone for the G stamp, and then 6-3 being 3 blades, and then 33 is the pattern on this one.
Right.
And for some reason, some goofball glued I guess the shield had fell out, and they glued the case shield upside down back in it. So
Oh no.
we'll have to fix that.
You know what? That's not a mistake. That's custom.
There we go.
That's Terry, when we were talking about that, being kids back in the 70s and early 80s, I had a friend that had a belt buckle that was a steerhead, and it had the horns. I remember the big belt buckle, phase back then. And so he had dropped that belt, and one of the horns broke off, and he was like, "Oh man," he goes, "I can't believe it." And another guy said, "Don't worry about it." He goes, "Now it's a custom belt buckle."
Yeah. That's it.
Yep. So there you go. Yeah, it's like when they print stamps upside down, Cal. You can tell them, this costs more because it was a factory mistake.
Got to pay a premium.
Exactly. You can't just find one of these anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, you ready there, Terry?
Yeah, I'll show this one. I don't want to get into this one very deep, okay? Because I haven't actually done a video on it. But this is 4 5/8, and what it is it's one of those that came. It is. Let me get up here where I can read it. Let me get the box where I can read it first, y'all, because I can't see nothing. It's a HSB, and what it is, it's Hubbard, Spencer, and Bartlett, which is a hardware store that was in Chicago, Illinois, and it was established in 1855. So what this is actually a knife that come through Klauss Cutlery, and it's just a commemorative. But it's a 4 5/8 large Stockman with horn.
Ox horn, maybe.
Yeah, ox horn. Thank you, Andrew. I lost my mind there for a minute. Ox horn, and this is an absolutely beautiful knife. I'll soon be doing a Stockman Stampede video on it, where it can be seen a lot closer. But it's I kind of these are not expensive knives, but I'm kind of into these because they are commemorative for those old hardware stores, and trying to find. I know Tom has some that are some different knives from some of those hardware stores that he's collected. This is more of a commemorative, but it just kind of brings back those big old hardware stores. Even these big large cities, Chicago and Louisville and all these, Belknap hardware, and Tom can tell you more about. He's got some from some different hardwares. Like I said, this one's Hubbard, Spencer, and Bartlett out of Chicago. That's just neat to me.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, I like that all those old hardware store knives, advertising knives and stuff. It's just a nice piece of history to have, especially if not that you want to celebrate a business going out of business, but if you find one that it's more rare because they're not making any more of those.
Right.
So it's kind of good. Tom, you ready? Okay.
Yeah, real quick. It's not a Stockman. It's a jackknife, but this is one of those Spencer and Bartlett, or Hibbard, Spencer and Bartlett knives. It's got bone.
Oh man.
And Terry's right. This is a very old company, and it was a hardware store. I'll try to look it up here later on in the show, but I think this, when you go through several iterations and mergers and acquisitions, I think it ends up being True Value hardware today.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
So I'll try to look that up and verify it, and give you that info later in the show. What was interesting about this is that last name, Bartlett. He started out as a janitor working for this company, and he worked his way up until he became a partner and got his name added to the company. And I just thought that was just a great success story.
Oh, that is cool.
So just wanted to jump in. Sorry, non-Stockman.
Okay. You don't hear those kind of stories anymore where people work their way up from the shop floor to being in the boardroom. That seems to be a bygone thing, but something that maybe we should re-examine. Somebody that actually knows the business. What a concept.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead, Andrew. What you got for us?
Well, so I got a new acquisition yesterday. It finally came in the mail.
Nice.
This had traveled up here last week. It turned around, went back to Texas, and they actually made it yesterday. I cannot believe it. This is a gift from Kaylin. This is a 1974 18 pattern, and I'm very stoked. It's the oldest knife in my collection. The year I was born. Very nice, great condition. What's interesting about this one is it's got a pin blade instead of the spay blade. And I also have a more modern 18, and it has a spay blade. And you can see how the clip points, let's see if I can, the clip points look slightly different. This one looks a little bit more like a California clip. So yeah, I got two 18s here.
Very nice.
And I'm glad it made it. I mean, this knife kind of became a traveling knife and didn't really want it. I cannot figure out why it turned around. Somebody made a mistake and put it in the wrong bin, and it went back to Texas. And we're like, what the heck's going on? And it made it finally.
Yeah, it's one of those misadventure knives. Took the long way to get there. That's for sure. Did you have any Stockmans, Darren?
No, I don't have any Stockmans. It's not a popular sort of pattern. It's a bit hard to get. So
we maybe should have addressed that beforehand.
I kind of did.
I emailed Terry the other day, and I said, I don't have any Stockmans. What am I going to do? So I searched.
Let's rephrase the question. Do you have any multi-bladed knives?
Well, I have a Kershaw Gadsden here, which is it's got a spay blade.
There you go.
Yeah.
We always welcome spay blades. Ask Jeroen in the comments.
It's got two blades that a Stockman should have. It's just
there you go.
Yeah, so no, it's quite cool. Yeah, quite like that. But again, even like a trapper like this, it's not that popular or common to come by. So
now, what kind of knives would you say are more popular down there? The modern knives or Swiss Army knives, or what kind of would you say the majority of people have?
There's a lot of Swiss Army knives. You can buy Victorinox from just about anywhere.
Right.
And a lot of moderns. There's quite a few moderns, but even the traditionals, more just your single blade traditionals.
Okay.
We've probably there's only really a handful of sort of dedicated knife shops, and the rest of them may just sell knives. Like hardware shops sort of tend to have a lot of sort of junky knives, nothing sort of collectible or worth having really. So
more like just somebody needs a knife, so they just buy a knife because it's just a plain working blade, not for any kind of a collectible reason.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of them are a lot of our knives that we see here are Chinese made, and more often than not they're not quality. So
okay, so you're not getting the QSPs and the Kaisers and the Civivis, but more
there's a few probably 2 or 3 shops that sell those, and it's interesting because one shop I go to often, it has a lot of the Civivi and the Kaiser and most of the brands, Benchmade and all that, but then they don't carry the full range. Where at the other end of our country, right down the bottom of the South Island, they also carry those range and those brands, but they have a completely different range. So I'm not sure why no one sort of stocks everything.
Yeah, it is kind of different. Do you think it's just because the kind of a store that it is, or?
Yeah, maybe the shop in the South Island does a lot of pistol shooting supplies and a lot of sort of the Western style pistol shooting and that. So they have a bit more of a range of the traditional knives, and the other one is more moderns. So yeah, I think it is depending on the shop and what their market is.
What kind of restrictions do you have on knives down there, if any?
Yeah, so we have you're allowed 2 to 2.5 inches, I think it is 65 or 67 millimeter blade. So if you've got a blade like that, you're pretty much allowed to carry it at all times. Anything else you can carry as well, so long as you've got good reason. So the main part of our law is you're allowed to carry it if you've got good reason.
Right.
So the good reason is obviously interpreted differently.
Yeah. That's one of those things that it seems like, and that's not just down there. I mean, it's all over the world that these type laws are written very vaguely, and a lot of stuff is given to interpretation by the officer and stuff. So it makes it kind of confusing. Oh, did you have something there, Tom? You're muted, son.
Sorry, I got grandkids running around screaming, and I'm trying not to. But anyway, Hibbard, Spencer, and Bartlett. Let me see. Let's get back to the beginning. Maybe we should start at the beginning. So they started as a hardware wholesaler in Chicago around 1855, and they were there until around 1960. They did not manufacture their own knives, but it's suspected that Ulster, Camillus, New York Knife, and Trade made their knives. Eventually, HSB became True Value, and some of their later knives feature this stamp on their blade. And another trademark that was featured on many of their knives was OVB, which stood for Our Very Best.
Yes, and this has that on the shield.
Yeah. The company was originally named Hibbard and Spencer. In 1864, Adolphus Bartlett started employment as a janitor, and in 1882, he joined the firm. The company's buildings were burnt down on 2 occasions, the first in 1857 and the second in 1871. HSB had a large selection of hardware, tools, cutlery, et cetera, et cetera. In 1932, the True Value brand was introduced. In 1962, Hibbard, Spencer, and Bartlett was sold to John Cotter and Company for the True Value brand name. So now you know the origin of True Value hardware.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
It's good to have a resident historian on staff.
Yeah, I may just need to send this knife to you, Tom, and let you do a stampede on this one.
No, it's it. You're all right though.
And you do the video and just me as proxy.
Oh, okay. I love this HSB. Not Sweet Pea and I was sitting around drinking our iced tea the other night, and I broke out my Hibbard, Bartlett, and Spencer. How am I doing?
You about right. You're just about right, brother.
I love it.
Well, Zen, I wanted to let you know, you weren't here at the beginning of the show, but LD is from New Zealand, so he's actually from the future. So yesterday we were working upside down and backwards, and today we're we're ahead. So we're and I agree, Tim. That is the worst Southern accent ever. So you see what's going on. We got LD in the future, and then the rest of us are 18 hours behind. So
Tom may be a little further behind than that.
well, yeah, we can't go back to. How many times did you go to 5th grade, Tom?
I never made it to 5th grade. After 6 tries in 4th grade, I just give it up.
You know, that's probably for the best.
Hey, I got a question.
Back to Terry's point there was a lot of old hardware stores that, they didn't make their own knives, but they had their line. I mean, we had the Craftsman. I've got another one here called Klauss. I'll show here in a bit, but it's really fun to find these old hardware store brands.
Yeah, Western Auto, and they had all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What you got there, Cal? I see that.
This is a 44 pattern here, 6344, and I believe it is a 1970 on the year. She has just a regular old clip point, and yesterday I noticed Zen was saying that the 44 had the pin blade. Well, guess what mine's got? She got a spade blade. But you could probably find variations of the same knife. You know what I mean? Just with different blades here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Not quite sure why they switched them around from the spade to the pin blade on the specific knife, but
it could have been either a design change at that time that year, or maybe they ran out of pin blades. They had a big stack of spade blades. Yeah. So I mean, they're going to use everything they got. That's for sure. But that is a pretty knife.
I appreciate it. This is I am growing my dark red bone collection.
Yes, I saw that yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Jeroen has it right. He says, "Who needs a pen blade when you can have a spade blade?" I mean, definitely. Okay. Zen wants you to open up that knife again, so he wants to see that. All right, pay attention, Zen. This is for you.
There's you can't see it, but it's there. 6344 ST, and there's your sheep's foot, and there is your spade blade. Can we all agree that's a spade blade?
Yeah. Yes, sir. No denying that one.
So I don't know what to tell you.
You think maybe that it just evolved? Ask Zen what year model is his 44s, because I have a 2023 44 and mine does have a pin blade. So I just wonder. I just wonder if it evolved. In other words, did the early ones have spades, and then as they evolved, they changed them to a pin because it being such a small knife. Maybe they didn't figure they needed a spade for what it's intended for on a knife this small, 3 1/4 inches.
Well, I have noticed on knives of that size, it kind of depends. About half of them have a pen blade, and about half of them have a spade. They do change for those smaller ones. So I don't know if there's anything. Zen says he wasn't trying to contradict you. He just wanted to see it again.
Oh no, I was just messing around. That's all.
Yeah.
You gotta take me with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
I think
in somebody's words, he may be a strong cup of coffee too. So-
Well, I don't think that when you start talking about knife patterns and blade styles, depends on what year it was made, what company made it, what they had left at the end of the year.
Right.
There's a lot of different variations, to what it is. There's just no rule of thumb to it that I've ever seen.
Yeah, especially when it comes to some of these patterns, it seems like there's not much of a rule of thumb. In fact, I'm getting out some knives right here. Let me.
Well, I think
see.
too, RJ, is when you get into the multi-bladed knives, you're going to see that more than you are than, I'd say 99% of trappers got the same blades.
Right.
Then then you got a few trappers, they started, doing the improved trappers with a Warncliffe and, some of that kind of stuff. But I'd say probably 99% of every trapper you ever pick up is going to have a clip and a spade, period.
Yes, sir.
But when you get into multi-bladed knives, Stockmans and even some Congress, because I know Caleb got a pretty good collection of Congress knives, and some of those don't stand. They're not politically correct either for the same 4 blades or whatever for each and every
Right.
knife. They kind of stand true to the frame, like certain stock ones stand true to a frame, but as far as the blades, they can vary.
Yes. So I'll come down to you real quick, Tom. I'm going to show off a couple knives here to show the difference. Now this is with some old timers. So here's a old 34 OT, and you can see that it does have a spay blade on it. The newer one, this is the one with the Heritage series with the D2 steel. You can see it has a pen blade versus that spay at the end. So really kind of cool. And then I was showing off a knife before we all started. I had seen one of these and I hadn't picked one up, but this is the Middleman Jack. So this is a jackknife that's on the 34 OT frame, or same size as that, but this is the 33 OT. And then here is these guys kind of side by side. So you can see they're the same thing. And this is a USA made one. And so is this. So I was happy to finally get a Middleman Jack into the collection. And we'll have an upcoming video on this. It's definitely a cool knife. So we'll go down and see what you got there, Tom.
Okay, I'm not muted. Okay.
I'm glad.
So, this is a Klauss Cutlery Stockman, and I'll give a little history on this one. I think it's called a premium Stockman because it's basically a cattle knife, except it is built on a serpentine handle. I'm not quite sure where I got that, but it might be because it has a spay blade and a pen blade, but it does not have the sheep's foot. But I do not know. But anyway, the Klauss Cutlery history was founded in 1877 in Elyria, Ohio, and at one time it was the largest maker of scissors and shears in the world. It started in a one-room building. In 1887, the company moved to Fremont to be near an abundant supply of natural gas. A 2-story plant was erected, and 3,000 shears and scissors were made each day. In 1889, the plant was destroyed by fire. In 1919, Klauss merged with Henkel. A new plant was built less than 4 months, and the company's name was changed to Klauss. The Henkel-Klauss merger created a company of 1,000 employees. John Klauss died later in 1919. In 1954, the name was changed to Klauss Cutlery Company to avoid confusion with a German cutlery firm, J.S. Henkel's. In 67, Klauss was taken over by Alco Standard Corporation, and they made tools for industrial niche markets such as surgical scissors. In 2004, the company was bought by Acme United Corporation, the same corporation that bought Camillus. In the 1920s, Fremont, Ohio claimed 25 cutlery businesses and was known as the cutlery center of the world. So this is a jig bone, and it looks like a peanut, doesn't it there? Doesn't that look like a peanut?
Yeah, it sure does.
So
Very nice bone.
Klauss Cutlery.
Very cool. Thank you, Tom. So, Darren, after seeing all these Stockman knives, is a Stockman on your list to acquire?
Yeah. So I was just thinking before you were saying that the list got bigger. Well, I think I've probably got the biggest list. So I don't know where to start. Yeah. I actually recently missed out on a S-bellie Stockman.
Oh, yeah.
That came up over here on our used sort of marketplace. Yeah. So
Yeah, those are really cool. The S-bellies. That's another one on my list. I don't have any of those. Yeah, so
I've got a couple of them.
yeah.
They're pretty
Darren,
cool.
can I ask Darren a question?
Of course.
As far as there's countries that have considerable problem getting cutlery mailed in and out. Is that an issue where you are?
It seems that you can pretty much mail anything as a private individual, providing it's a legal knife in New Zealand. So, which I think things like it's pretty much things like the flip knives and double-edged things and those sorts of knives are illegal. So as long as it meets a legal standard, as an individual, someone can send it to New Zealand. But I think from what I understand is if you're a company, you need different sort of paperwork to do that. So
right.
That's why very few of the sort of American companies will ship to us because of the paperwork of getting it out, I suppose.
So,
Yeah.
So a slip joint knife shouldn't be a problem. Something like that.
No. As far as I know, there's a couple of guys I speak to at our local shops, and he's got a buddy somewhere, and he sends him stuff all the time, quite easily. So he'll buy it online from all the places you guys buy from, and get it sent to his buddy, and then his buddy sends it over. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a question I was going to ask you, Darren, since you don't have any Stockman. So if we sent you a smaller medium Stockman that had like a 2.5-inch made blade, that should be fine.
Yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, it's like I say, the length of the blade is 2.5 inch. You basically just don't need the excuse to carry it. But anything over that. But to be honest, there's not a lot of checking that goes on. Not a lot of. I mean, people could have them in their pockets and no one would know. No one would be any the wiser. It's more just if you had like you wouldn't walk down the street with a fixed blade on your hip sort of thing. You will get pulled up on that. So even in our rural towns, a lot of the farmers and things will have a fixed blade, and you're supposed to take them off your belt when you head into town. So. Yeah, it's sort of
kind of like the old West was when you get to the edge of town, you got to hang your guns on a post before you go in.
Yeah. You just have, basically just have to do that. Yeah. So
there you go. Tim School of Fish is chiming in. He says, "Don't let a don't let us peer pressure you into a Stockman. A jackknife is far superior.
Come on, Tim. Come on, Tim.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I say is that you should have both.
Yeah.
There's no reason to discriminate against one or the other. Be all inclusive in your collection.
Yeah. Yeah, at the start of my collection, I was sort of thinking, yeah, I'm just going to have this brand and that brand, and then you see other brands, and you end up with one of all sorts, and it doesn't really matter after that.
That's it. You just see all kinds and go from there.
Yeah.
YouTube is a great place to see all kinds of knives. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it sure is.
I'll show you one that Zen and I have in common, and that is this case 18 that has the punch on the end instead of a regular spay blade. So you get both of these. And it was funny because Zen said it's funny when you get a knife that has a punch on it, you don't know how useful or how many uses you have for a punch until you actually have one that you can carry. You know, that you have one on you, then you find stuff to do with it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And here is my first case Stockman, which was also the 18 pattern. And so this has the spay blade on that as well. This is the Ichthus shield, which Tom has a extensive collection of the Ichthus shields in his knife collection. And a lot of very good videos. That was how I came to become friends with Tom, as I saw that. And what is that, Tom? Like a 3 video that you have on the Ichthus shields? I know there's at least 3 to be given, then you've updated since then.
Yeah, I've got one on the complete family of the smooth blue ice. There was about 11 patterns in that one. And then I have a video on the family of the smooth purple curly maple. There's 8 or 9 knives in that family. So
right.
I don't know. I just wanted to answer Tim that, you know, he likes them single or double bladed jackknives, and so I think all his knives just have blade envy.
That could be. I'm not gonna jump into that.
Got to have a Stockman.
I don't know that Tim doesn't have a Stockman. I think he just prefers a jackknife.
Yeah, he says, you know, one blade is good, and any additional blades,
it's just
kind of less appealing to him. I don't know.
Yeah. Tim, you may not be a knife guy. I don't know.
I don't know what it is. Oh, he says he has some Stockman. See, he finally fesses up. Put a little pressure on there, he fesses up.
Okay, Cal, let's see another Stockman there.
This is the 87 pattern, 6387, and this one is 1940 case XX. It's in really, really good condition. Minimal use, I would say. And this one has a spay blade on the primary blade side, and it has a thin blade for the third blade there, which is pretty cool. And, dark red bone, 1940s. It's kind of similar to the 18 pattern, which I got somewhere.
It's around here somewhere.
Yeah, I just had it, but I'll find it in a second. But yeah, 6387 with a spay blade and a pin blade.
Yeah, that's another one.
I'm getting there, Zen.
Yep, and JB has quite a few Stockmans, but he's more of a single blade guy. and that is true. I have noticed that you prefer those single blade knives, JB, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I have single blade ones too, and they are a lot of fun.
Here's my 1970 6318 in dark red bone.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a beauty there.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't know if you can see the edges on those knives, but they are mirror polished, more so than the blades themselves. Whoever sharpened this thing did a ridiculous job stropping it. The blades were a little bit used. As you can see, this is kind of turned into a butter knife, and a very, very sharp butter knife. But same thing with the spade blade. They kind of look the same now. But yeah, you got a clip point and 2 butter knives there, and this one is in stainless, dark red bone, 1970. Stainless liners and everything.
Very nice. All right, Terry, we'll take a look at what you got.
Well, mine is not the same quality as Gunslinger Cal, but that is a 087, which is the jig Packerwood. It's a 76 model. You know, they're pretty cool little knives, and of course, you know, they got the spay over here and the pin here. So see, they don't even have a sheep's foot on them, which is I really kind of don't like. But what I do like about these is they're so pocket friendly because of the way the blades are sunken down into the frame.
Yes.
So you don't catch them at all. Even
Right.
though it's not a copperhead, those blades are the tang is completely hidden. And that makes it very pocket friendly, more of a gentleman carry.
Yeah, I agree, because I have one of the 087 jackknives, and I think that is the same way with the sunken joints. It just makes it such a great knife to carry.
Mine's a 087 as well. I just added the 6.3. I just, you know, that's what it would be, you know.
I wonder why Kaylin, do you happen to know why that they do that tang stamp that way? Just the 0 instead of the is that supposed to be something significant in that time or something?
They broke the 6 and the 3 on the 87 pattern. They never fixed it.
Well,
Yeah.
some of the patterns, from what I understand, is that there's several patterns that Case kept that have basically 3. So it's like a 087 or a 0 whatever. I'd have to go look up the numbers, but they just have that. I think it's just an old numbering system that they carried over from the past forward into the new manufacturing. You know, they had different owners a couple of different times, and so I think that's just a carryover from the old stuff to the new stuff, and they have new patterns and old patterns and stuff. As we saw with Zen's collection, patterns that they've kind of stopped, and
Yeah, I still haven't got over that. That's just some of those patterns just really turned me on. I mean, I'm really digging them, and I never even saw them, much less heard of them.
That's why I said Stockman has to be the topic of the day, and the knives we're going to show off today, because it was so much fun talking Stockmans with Zen. I'm still not over it.
You know, and RJ, I would say yes. Stockman will probably always be my favorite pattern because of that's what I started with and all that. But the truth is I really don't carry a Stockman very much anymore. because we've all evolved,
Right.
to carrying, because, I carry a SD Classic, and I usually carry either a small jackknife, a small pen knife, or a small single blade knife, because I carry a small fixed blade,
Right.
So instead of carrying one knife that does it all, we've all evolved. If you watch any of our videos, any of our pocket dumps, any of our shorts, how many of us do a pocket dump or a daily carry that only has one knife in it?
I don't think anybody does. I think
Almost nobody anymore. If you are a bona fide knife nerd, it's almost against the law to just carry one knife. You go ahead, Taylor.
Well, you got more than one pocket.
I usually only carry one knife. Sometimes I carry the Kershaw too with my traditional, but generally I'll just carry one knife.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
I'm breaking the rules.
You can be the exception. Every rule has an exception, and that's okay. The as long as you're following rule number 9, always have a knife, then you're okay.
Right.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Did you have something, Tom?
Somebody's
I did.
You did.
So this is a Frontier Double Eagle. And it's a pattern model number 4135. And the Frontier knives, you can see the Frontier on the tang stamp and the powder horn there. Those were made by Imperial. Excuse me. Kind of a classy line out of Imperial knives. And these Double Eagle knives, I think they ran the series of them from 1976 to 1985. And the ones that you find with the wooden handles on them, they should be in 440A stainless. So this is just a pretty fancy Imperial. Imperial was known for their budget knives, but they did come out with this kind of upscale line of knives.
That's nice.
Yep.
I do have another one of these, and it's a small Stockman, a little tiny thing. I'll try to dig it out too, but yeah.
Jerome is asking if that's a
Double Eagle.
Jerome's asking if that's a laminated wood, Tom.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Old Fart says it's finally a knife I like.
Well, if we keep showing them, there's bound to be something they like, right?
I'm telling you, that's why we have a variety.
So, Darren. So, what is your daily carry right now? What do you carry daily now?
Right now, I've got I always carry my Swiss card. So we always have the Victorinox Swiss card that just lives in my phone wallet.
Yep, let me bring it up so you're full screen there.
Yeah, just have this Swiss card. It's got a tiny little blade in it.
Oh, cool.
So there's pretty much all the tools that your Swiss Army knife has. But it's just nice and flat. Can sit in your phone wallet. It has a pressurized pen in there too. And other than that, because I'm basically in my overalls all day long, I just normally carry a small. It's sort of a copy of a case peanut. I haven't got it on me at this stage, but yeah, it's basically just the same as a case peanut, and it just lives in my pocket all day. Well, and that's sort of my 5-day a week carry. Yeah. And then the weekends, well, it's what you've seen in the pocket dumps and whatever I'm doing, I take what I need.
Right.
So no real sort of one, but I do like this this rust lock that I did a video on just the other day. So
Oh, yeah.
quite like it. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people that don't, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So that actually gets a lot of pocket time. But
What
yeah.
color is that one?
That's the brown Delaran. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, that was I think it's an 02, and like I mentioned it was in the shop, new in the box, and I only picked it up earlier this year, so it's sat in the shop for 21 years. As you can see, that's the green box it comes in,
Oh, no.
which is no longer. So 21 years in a display cabinet. So that sort of shows you the popularity of the case knives over here.
I bet Big J's freaking out right now.
There's another couple of shops, but I'm a bit scared to mention their names because I know how much old stock they've got, and I want to try and get it myself.
Yeah, don't give away your honey hole.
Yeah, no problem. But don't worry, none of us are going to go down there to get one. So
yeah, it's actually almost impossible for them to send it out too. I was reading up on that, and they've got if a knife's imported from the US to New Zealand, it's more paperwork to get it back into the US than it was to get it out.
Oh, no.
It's like you guys don't want them back when they're gone. So yeah, it's the way it is. But yeah,
crazy stuff.
So there's a.
Yeah, I had a friend who was traveling in Spain, and he found a knife set he really wanted, and he couldn't ship it back to the United States, which I thought was weird.
Oh, yeah.
That is weird because there's a lot of knife companies and makers in Spain.
Yeah, I don't know what the laws are. But yeah, you'd think you'd be able, being American, you'd be able to ship yourself some knives to America, but guess not.
Yeah, it is bizarre. I would have thought the same thing, that, if you're mailing it out of country to your own country, it should be okay. I mean, yes, you have to fill out a customs form, but you wouldn't think it would be a problem since it's stuff that's totally legal for us to own.
Right.
Well, Darren, I really like your rust lock. I do like that pattern. I have one of them, and people kind of wonder why it's got that little tab up there on the front.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
That knife was in honor of one of the founders, Russell Case, and they started out making straight razors. So if you look at a straight razor, that's what you have on a straight razor, and so that's an ode to Russell Case, is what that is. Yep.
Yeah, it's a bit like a
You're gonna open it. Yeah, you open it up like you'd open up a straight razor. That's why that thing is on there.
Yeah, it's not just on there to jab you in the hip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
I hear you, Jerome.
They also make it in a spear point, which I've seen a few around, not really for sale much anymore, but the spear point rust lock is a really cool one also.
Really? I haven't seen one of those. That's cool.
I never knew they made one with a different blade either.
I call it the Woody Woodpecker knife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the boys call it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to get one. That's another one that's on my someday to have at least one in the collection knives. That's for sure.
Well, no one showed a S-bellie Stockman yet, so I have a few here.
Yeah, you're going to be the guy for that.
So I have 3, all by different manufacturers. This is the Marbles D2 steel micarta. This is probably one of my favorites for the money. Awesome half stops, great quality knife, great fit and finish, nice snap. Nice clip on that. This is similar to the Rough Riders, but the D2 being a far superior blade steel. And also a Roper. This is in 1065 carbon with a different blade. You got the Skinner blade here, a giant spay blade here, and I like how the clip point angles way down This is black bone. This is another good one. You could kind of find them out there still. No half stops. And then my only other one would be the Rough Rider copper coil and 440A. Had to go with the copper, patinas, black bone. And those are my 3 sow-bellies. Don't have a case sow-belly yet.
Yeah, I'm still looking for one of those myself. That is for sure.
They're not cheap.
No, they're not.
That's why I don't have a bunch of them. When they're not cheap, I have to wait. Go ahead, Tom. What you got?
Just breaking out some of my older vintage ones here. This one is a Ziegler and Schmidt, German company. I haven't done all the research on this one yet. It's got really nice bone on it. And it's a kind of a small Stockman pen blade. Actually, you know what? I'm incorrect. I think this is a Whittler. We've got a coping blade there. Looks like a Whittler, doesn't it? Look, I was looking at the back springs there. You got one thick one for the main blade, and 2 small blades share a small. Maybe that's a Whittler. I don't know. Still a cool old knife, though. The only problem is on that side, chunk of the bone is broke out of it. But still a cool knife. I like collecting these old knives from the different companies. Oh, Ziegler and Schmidt, or Schmidt and Ziegler.
Yeah, Jerome says it may be a Whitman.
It's a Whitman?
Yeah, it's half Whittler, half Stockman.
Yeah, it might be. It might be. Now I got my curiosity going here. It's model 321, so maybe I can look up the model number and they'll tell me.
Yeah, it's one of those hybrid style. Well, I had some Imperial ones. I'll get to here in a second, Terry. I just wanted to show a couple more that have pen blades instead of spay blade. So here is an Imperial Stockman, and you can see it clearly has the spay blade on it, but the same size knife in the Uncle Henry lineup, they put a pen blade on there instead of the spay blade. But then on the larger Uncle Henry knife, they decided that they were going to double down on the pen blade and just give you a bigger pen blade than you had before. So kind of interesting how they decide to do these little, blade sets, I guess that you would call them, or feature sets on these knives. But just kind of an interesting thing that, because Imperial and Uncle Henry and Old Timers are all basically, and Schrades are all from the same factory. So kind of interesting stuff. Well, hold on, Cal. Let me get to Terry. He had something there first, and we'll get right back to you.
I just real quickly. I got a couple of sow-bellies. One of them's a Rough Rider, but this one right here is the one that really interests me. This whitetail with the 4116 German steel blades. This knife has got the pinch bolsters and some awesome bone. Fit and finish on this thing is just impeccable. But the blade style of these, Andrew showed his with this same type of blade styles. And this little small Skinner blade, the way it is, with the spatula type spay blade, and then it's not really a clip blade, it's more of a Skinner blade, more of a trailing Skinner blade on these. And close that spay blade, the way that these blades can't, I like them. I really want to own more sow-bellies, but I would like to own a couple of case sow bellies, but they kind of out there. So that's kind of on my bucket list for next year is a couple of case sow bellies. I really love a sow belly Stockman and a sow belly single blade for my collection.
That definitely sounds like something to aspire to. That's for sure. All right, Cal, we'll get you up here. You had something?
Yeah. Got a couple of different variations of sow bellies. Got a Hen and Rooster here. This is a repaired Hen and Rooster, and it has the same blade makeup as the one Terry was showing there. This one says Little Cutting Horse, and special edition, solid in Germany, Bertram Cutlery 283DS. But she also has a kind of a funny looking spade there.
Oh yeah. I bet Roper copied that pattern.
Oh really?
Well, mine looks almost just like that with the angled clip blade and then that big spade blade. Do you have a Skinner blade? Is the next one a Skinner blade?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like my Roper. I bet Roper copied that pattern.
This says on the second blade, it says Hen and Rooster, world's finest since 1845. And this was my dad's knife, and just always appreciated it. It's got ridiculous snap. You got to watch this one because it will slam down there in the bottom. Got another one that's real similar to that one. This is a Fighting Rooster in green bone, and got the skin and clip point blade, however you want to call that one. And but this one instead has that thing.
Wow.
Whatever you want to call that thing.
It looks like
I call it a mini Bowie knife.
Yeah.
But and then it has a spade blade, really nice spade blade, big fat one.
Wow, that's a cool one.
And yeah.
So instead of a sheep's foot, we could call that a club foot.
You call it whatever you want. I honestly don't know what it is, but yeah, it has a really cool swedge, and this is actually, it's not sharp, but it will poke you. Like the top there.
Yeah.
It's very protruding.
Mm-hmm.
And the swedge makes it, pokey or whatever.
Right.
And but then I have that bad boy right there.
There you go.
This is I believe it's a 2015 sow belly, and the green G10 scales there, and pattern is 63339 on this one.
Are those all Tony bows?
Yes. The as far as the case ones are.
Yeah.
I believe they're all his.
It should say TB in front of the pattern. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah. That one you got there, that spade blade, it's got a different grind on it, don't it, Kalen? It's got more of a saber grind, doesn't it?
No, it just has a really fat swedge on the top.
Okay, I see it now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the grind, because the grind looks normal. It's just, it's a hardcore swedge on one side.
Yeah, you see it now. When you turn it around, you can tell this. When you first looked at it, it looks like a different grind, but I see it now. It's actually on the top of the blade. That's neat.
It is, exactly. Yeah. But those are my sow bellies.
Yeah, that's definitely on my list.
Yeah, I would like to have that very one with that G10 handle, and I'm thinking that they make that particular handle material in a single blade too, which is really, really hard to get.
Yeah. Yeah, they've had a couple of those. I know that they are hard to find, but they're still out there.
Don't give up.
Yeah, Pete showed a couple of those. Yeah, so, all right, Tom, let's see what you
Well, I
got.
thought it's time to start showing some real knives now. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So I broke out my bucks here.
There you go.
So this is the
I
buck.
was wondering how long it would take.
You know, I had to.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did know that.
So this is the Buck 701 Bronco. It was made in 1999. And this series, the 700 series of Buck slip joints, they were meant to replace, you know, what you commonly think is their Stockmans. It was supposed to be a heavy duty, but this line did not last. But the other line has continued on. So it did not replace them. It was an addition to them. So there's the Bronco. And then this is the 703 Colt. You got more of a large Stockman and a medium Stockman here. You'll notice that I did a video on the 700 series, the different iterations. The last couple years, they had no shield on it. Just plain. And here's one of the other shields, earlier models that has an actual Buck shield on it. So those are, is that birchwood, I think, inlays.
Very nice. Are those 3 back springs or 2 back springs on those?
They are 3.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. So this is these are fancy cowboy knives, I guess. This is for if you're going to the Saturday night dance and you're all dressed up, this is what you'd carry. Because they're a sharp looking knife. I wish they made them still.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't.
I'm just getting a knife ready there, Tom.
Alrighty.
I didn't
I
leave it
didn't know
hanging.
if you wanted me to sing or do a magic trick or.
You know, just about anything can happen when you're center square, as it was.
If you give me the time, you don't know what's going to happen.
That's mostly what I'm afraid of, you know. But but I do have a couple of different ones. I'm going to just do a single one. This was one of the first Stockmans I reviewed on my channel. This is the Kershaw Brandywine.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's got a nice little spade blade on it. It really has got a lot of belly on it. But it's nice because it has that, you know, when you talk about modern materials, 7CR stainless blades, but you have the G10 covers. And so it's kind of a cool knife. I have really enjoyed this one. It's a nice little worker, you know, and it was kind of cool that Kershaw stepped back and started putting out some slip joint knives. So definitely one to look out for, especially if you just like to have a nice little worker. This one is very good. It's a very good knife. There you go. And I will see.
Very nice.
What was that, Tom?
I said very nice.
Oh, thank you. Okay, Terry, we'll take a look and see what you got there.
This is another one that goes back to the old hardware stores. This is a John Primble. Which John Primble was not the name of the hardware store. The name of the hardware store was Belk Now. And but the story goes that John Primble worked at this hardware store, and supposedly he was supposed to be the the model employee, and they named their knife line after them. They did not make knives. They commissioned other companies to make their knives, and they're more noted for the Barlow. They had a lot of Barlows and stuff, and but they do make other knives. This is they're now made. The same people that make Winchester knives make these now up in Manchester, Ohio. And this knife here, it's a 4-inch square jawed Stockman or square bolstered. Old school, we always call them square jawed, but it has the pin blade, its snappability. This is a jam up and jelly tight pocket knife from stem to stern, front to back. I mean, it is very, very well built. But the history, I think, goes back to like 1945, 1948, somewhere back in there, of when the Primble name was first trademarked.
Very interesting. Oh,
So we have a
code is here. Awesome.
hello, ST. We do have a question. Cohen Cohen is asking if anyone has a canoe pattern Stockman. I do not, but I think that's an interesting pattern. I need to try to get one someday.
Yeah, those are called a gunboat, right?
Boat, yeah, they're
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're bigger than your standard canoe, and generally have 3 blades on them, which I think is odd, anyways. But
Sounds like the knife that Tim would go for.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tim likes that. Large multi-bladed ones. There you go, Cal. All right, Sean, we'll see you.
Bye, Sean. This is a 6332, 1940 to 1965, 64, in red bone. This was my great-great-grandfather's. And I've told the story before how I've acquired it, but just a fine piece of history here. Blades are still in really good condition.
It's beautiful too, that's for sure.
Kinda. She's had some repair, but I did notice that my other 32 patterns were just a tiny bit different than this one.
Oh, somebody just saw the question.
I can answer that.
I can too. So we'll take turns. But go ahead, Cal. Finish your dissertation. You're distracted, but it's okay.
So the older 32 pattern is a bit more slender than the newer 32 pattern, which is as far as this way goes, in my opinion, it just looks thicker to me. I could be wrong, but can y'all?
No, I believe you're right. The bolsters on the newer one on the bottom, I mean, definitely look bigger.
Thicker, exactly. And this one is in chestnut bone, and it is CV blade, and this one is a 2005.
That's a very nice one.
2005, 1940.
Oh, they both good looking knives. The newer one, is that chestnut?
Yes, chestnut.
Yeah.
And I also got one in amber bone, but
Nice.
I'll save that one for another time.
All right, Tom, you want to tackle that question first?
Well, I'm seeing some answers here. They're saying banishment to the couch and a week on the couch. And first off, with collecting, you've got to start naming your items. I learned this with antique tractors. You give them a name, and then when the wife says you got too many tractors, but how can I get rid of Susie? How can I get rid of Mary? and you got to get them on name. So, that's the first part. So you order a knife, and then it's, oh, honey, I had it in the shopping basket. I didn't know I actually ordered it. I'm so sorry, but I think Mary needed a partner. She was lonely, so I got Peggy to be with Mary. You just gotta, tug on the heartstrings, and if that doesn't work, then beg forgiveness.
I think for me, it's either you're going to be straight up and honest about it and say, hey, can I do this? If it's not too expensive, sometimes it doesn't matter. The thing with buying old knives, like Tom and I, we'll go get stuff from a thrift store or something, and your wife will come by and say, "Is that a new knife?" He said, "What? This old thing? I've had this for months." Look at how old and dingy it is. So yeah, there's the time-honored game of try to sneak it by, but then really, I think when you have a joint account, honesty is your best policy. But that's just me.
I agree. I'm fortunate my wife supports my hobby or my addiction or habit or whatever you want to call it. So just talk to her ahead. Hey, what's our finances looking like? And hey, we got enough extra this week. Can I sneak this one in? And usually, she's straight up yes or no. So,
and then there's Tim's suggestion, which I can neither say that that's a good idea or a bad idea. You would know your own situation better than that.
Yeah,
I just know it.
Yeah, Tim, I see that.
I know at my house that would not work. I'd come back next week black and blue.
Your wife watches these videos, Tim.
Yeah. She must be gone shopping, or he wouldn't have put that up.
I'm with
there
you.
You go.
My wife supports my habit too, and she buys me knives as well.
So I think that's the advantage of going the sweet way. Is every now and then, the wife will buy me one. So without me even knowing. That does bring up the double standard, though, doesn't it? Here we're talking about honesty, and we should talk to them first before ordering a knife. She has no problem ordering one for me and not asking if we have the money or not. She'll just do it.
Well, that's.
I'm not complaining.
Right.
But there is that double standard there.
I don't have to worry about that. My Sweet Pea is an enabler. So she sends
mine is the same way.
Yeah, she sends me emails. If we're off somewhere, if we're at the flea market, if we get separated, she'll wait on me to come around or come back and get me. Hey, have you been over here yet? Or we sitting in our chairs in the living room, and she's on one phone, I'm on the other, and the TV's on, and I'm looking at one thing. She says, "Hey, you see this one yet?" Or she'll email it over to me. We sitting side by side, and she'll email it over to me. And then I say, hand me the tablet. I need to make an order. So it's
I know that's when I go to the antique stores and the thrift stores with my wife, she's looking out for knives more than I am. She's like, hey, did you see this one over here? Or they got a bunch of knives over here or whatever. She's always helping me out to get that stuff. So I think including your wife in your hobby is a good thing for most of the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's where the L comes from in LD's pocket knives. Without the L, there'd be no knives.
Right. There you go. And Old Fart says he gets asked weekly, how many knives do you need? It's not how many do you need. I mean, that's like asking her, how many shoes do you need? I mean, it's either way, you're just gonna get in a big argument that way for sure.
Right.
No, seriously, one way we've solved it is I have a separate, what do you call it, a money card type thing, like a debit card type thing. Right. So we sit down and budget, and she'll put so much money on my card, and that's for my weekly expenses. And if I'm frugal and I save some of my money, then I'll say, hey, I got this much left over. I'm going to use it to buy. So kind of budget it in is what we try to do.
Absolutely. You got to budget it in and not put yourself in any kind of financial stress over it. That's
So
true.
Tom, just be honest. So you do like we used to do when we was in school. You instead of spending your lunch money on lunch, you save it to spend on to spend on knives.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get
Yeah,
it.
things like that happen. That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, why do you need that sandwich for lunch anyway? You can
You
always
know-
eat when you get home.
I can go another couple weeks without getting a haircut.
Yeah, I might want that dime that I was given for milk money. I'm gonna buy Peggy some sweet tarts after school. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes it costs twice as much too. I was going to say sometimes if you buy a knife, you may as well buy two because you've got to give your wife, the equivalent in the value.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Or some shoes or something.
So, Darren, I have a question: are there any like unique knife patterns to New Zealand? Are there some indigenous people there that have, through the years, kind of come up with their own style of a fixed blade, machete style knife?
Not that I know of. Not that I'd say we're unique to New Zealand. Most
Okay.
of no, not really. Most of what we have are just based on American or English sort of patterns and knives.
Okay.
There's not any real indigenous type knife. I think a lot of them were more sort of your axe style things and your spear type blades, things like that, more than knives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just didn't know. Some of those, especially the island countries around the world, a lot of them seem to come up with their own little style of knife or bolo.
Yeah. No,
Well, we can
there's
talk about the sword knives. Tim brought that up.
Yeah, so sword knives are made about 10 minutes away from where I live, and they've been around for a few years. I'm not 100% sure, but they've definitely been around since the early 90s, if not before that. And they're just a local made knife. They're based on a lot of they've got their own sort of design shapes, but they're all kind of based on things. The big one that I've seen a lot of overseas is the peasant knife, the little friction folding peasant. That seems to be quite popular. So,
Right.
yeah, we've they're quite good. They use a lot of carbon steel. So I've just got one here. So that's one of their fixed blades.
Yeah, let me bring that up.
That's carbon steel with a bit of patina on it. So yeah, that's what that'd be about 8 or 9, probably close to 9 inches, 9 and a bit. It's quite a thick blade steel, full tang. So yeah, they're a pretty good knife. They have like a round style of grind on it, which is I don't really like. So I normally just resharpen them to like just a normal sort of edge. But yeah, they're quite well made, and most of them come in quite a big belt sheath.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's quite a good size, and they all come for a with a sharpening steel place to put a sharpening steel in. So we tend to use the sharpening steels a lot more than a leather strop. Yeah.
Heck of a sheath, heck of a knife too.
Yeah. They do one a bit like a shark finger. They call it an Ameri Kiwi. I don't know if you've seen those. It's kind of like their take on that. So
Nice.
yeah, they're probably fairly pricey, really, for that's the only one I have. The only sword I have is this one, because sort of for the price of them, there's other knives I would like, so I don't have a whole collection of them, even though they're local. Yeah, that's good.
Does it say what type of carbon steel's on that blade, or is it just carbon steel?
No, I can't honestly remember. It may have somewhere, but it doesn't say. It's not stamped on the blade. No. No, I'm not sure. I'd have to check up on that. I actually don't think they do anything else but the carbon steel. I don't think they do a stainless type one.
Yeah.
A lot of them actually don't even fit. A lot of them they finish. They'll just leave the black on the top edge, and grind where the ground will be the only polished piece. So they leave that real rustic looking finish,
Right.
which isn't. It's not a look that I like, so. Yeah, it's probably another reason I don't have a lot of them.
Those aren't really made as a collector type knife either. They're just made as a regular working knife. So it's not something that I mean, you may have one in a collection, but it's not like you'd have several of them. Like you'll have several case knives or several different types of different brands of knives and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's only one sort of wood, like one sort of wood for the handle, and one sort of style. Yeah.
And what got you into collecting and stuff like that? Have you always been into knives, or did you come about this hobby later, or what's your path to get there?
I've always been into knives. Have two older brothers, and the first sort of knife I remember was a Swiss Army knife that my brother had. So it was just the standard sort. It might have been a standard, which was before the Spartan. It was either a Spartan or a standard. So I always sort of played with that, and then I got a small pen. Had a small pen knife from about the age of 9 that I used to carry everywhere.
Right.
So yeah, I guess I've always been into knives, and collecting things. So no, just think they're great. We've always been able to carry them too, which is good. And the outdoors, and the outdoor lifestyle that I sort of live, you always need them. So
right.
I don't know where we're at. Yeah.
I can remember as a kid always being fascinated with edged weapons of all types. I can remember, back when we had encyclopedia sets and stuff, looking at all that, as much of that stuff. If they had pictures of swords or axes or spearheads or whatever, I was looking at all that stuff. There's just always been something that fascinated me about knives and stuff. I think it's a guy thing. I think it's also a relation that we have to kind of the past and to history. I mean, it is our oldest tool is something that cuts.
Yeah. I used to sharpen knives. I don't know how well as a young kid or young guy. I used to sharpen them all the time. I guess after all the movies where they would sit down and sharpen the knives for hours, like your Rambos and your Arnie movies and things like that, and a few people used to think I had an obsession with them, so obviously they could see the future a little bit. knew where those were going. Knew we were going. So yeah. No.
Yeah. I love it, Tim. Throwing stars, a fake Rambo knife, and a Swiss Army knife. It all began something like that, for sure. I think what's funny, and Terry, because you grew up the same time frame, and Tom, you did too. When we were kids, and all the throwing stars, all the kung fu stuff came out, and then the Rambo knives and all that other stuff, but I was already into it before that. And I'm sure you guys were too, but that just brings back so many memories of being in metal shop and the teacher saying, the first rule is that no one can make any throwing stars. So what happened is, of course, everybody made throwing stars. So, and of course he caught us because some of them would mysteriously be in the drop tile ceiling. I don't know how that happened. Statute of limitations. I'm claiming it, but
yeah, that happened here too.
oh yeah. I'm sure it's never changed.
So Darren, if you had the money in your pocket, don't matter, what would be the knife that you would buy tomorrow?
Oh, I'd almost need a bit of time to think about that. I've got such a big list.
I know
Well,
it's a big
we'll make
question.
it easier. Give us a top 3. How's that? So you don't have to really.
There you go.
You don't really have to go to.
I'll just actually check up on my list.
Let me look at my list right here.
Yeah. Oh, well, definitely be after a case. There's a nice case seahorse whittler that I've seen on one of the websites that I can look at. So that would be one of them. And I've got a few Tony Bowes patterns, so I think I'd probably get the rest of them, which is I think there's another 2 or 3 that I need to sort of have them all. So those would
Let's hear them. What are they?
Well, this is one I recently picked up, and that's the tribal lock.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's in
let me bring that up full screen. I like those tribal locks.
Yeah. So I believe that's the New Zealand flag colours right there. Yeah, no, you all know what colours those are. So yeah, that's a 2017. So when I purchased this from the same shop, the salesperson said that it had been sitting on the shelf the whole 6 years she'd been working there. So there's another new old stock. Unfortunately, that didn't come with the box. So that's one of them. I have this big case back pocket. Another Tony Bowes.
Dude, now you're talking.
Oh yeah.
And I haven't seen a lot with this Skinner blade. Most of them seem to have your other blades, your clip points, and your things that's is it bluegrass? I think something like that. The color of the bone. It's actually quite a greeny color, but yeah.
That is sharp. I like that.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
And I have this. I have the little 2021 SHOT Show exclusive Warncliffe.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one there on your channel.
Yeah, I did a video of that one. So
Oh, the little teardrop.
yeah, a little teardrop. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, like I say, there's a few more that I'd be after if I had the money to get them.
Right.
Yeah,
That's all it takes.
that's why I was quite upset to get to miss out on that S-belly. So, but just didn't happen.
That's cool. We've had some cool. Hold on a second. My dogs have come out, so definitely things will be more challenging for the host, but that's okay. It's a difficulty level I've had before. But we've had some great answers. A lot of guys answered in here about knives that they would get. Tim School of Fish says he'd like one of those massive Work Tough Gear monster fixed blades. Those are pretty cool.
Yes.
Kurt Singer says he'd like a large saddle horn. Those are cool. Tim School of Fish also said he'd like a Tony Bowes custom. Mike would like more Tony Bowes knives. Tim says he'd like to add an Ashley Harrison custom. Very good. Pens and Pen Blades says he'd like a buck knife Congress. Kurt Singer said he'd like a case large smooth bone saddle horn. Zen said you were very patriotic on the colors of that knife LD, so he approved. Let's see here. Mike says he needs a Tony Bowes bullnose trapper in ebony. Yes, I do too. And Joe from Messer HQ says he'd like to get a Mammoth Fremont before he dies. Wow, that is definitely a grail there. Yeah, so all kinds of cool knives. Thank you guys for participating in that. What do you want in green barn board gizmo, or is that what that knife was? I think that's. Zen wants a 44 with a spay. Cal, you might need to do some horse trading. There you go, Zen. He's nodding his head. Reach out to him and let him know. I see something moving across your screen, Cal. You got something?
I have a 47 pattern in brown bone. This is a 1980, and I wanted to show this one and make sure that Zen is still watching. Not that I'm sure he hasn't seen one before, but this one has 2 back springs, which I just sent my only 3 back spring over to Terry, so he has that one, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And my other 1989 also has 2 back springs, a fat one and a skinny one.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. And, you know, like you said, it's probably just changing of the times and the patterns and
right.
You know, just what they ended up on here lately, I guess, you know. But I've got 2 of the 47s.
Yep. Those are very cool. I have a couple of them as well.
Continuing up the pattern list there.
Yeah, as we go through those for sure.
Yeah, that would be what my next thing is. I would like a 6347 2 spring and a 62 47. You know, the 47 pattern also comes in a jackknife, and I'm looking for one of them one of these days.
No, I don't have the jackknife, but I have the pen knife.
You have the pen knife
in the 47. I don't know if that'd be interesting to know if they made the jackknife in that pattern.
Yeah, I want the pen knife too.
So Randy says the best case knives were made in 81. I don't know if that's true or not.
I thought the best ones were made in 64.
I'm with the 81. The 81.
Oh, nice.
Hey, I do have a question for us to ponder.
Okay.
And this is not a Stockman by no means, but this is a 76 model Texas Jack. We all know what a Texas Jack is. We probably just about everybody's got one. But
right.
I just saw T.C. Barnett on one of the latest videos that SMKW put out on the that Apple Smooth Bone thing that they got going on, and he specifically showed and called it a Texas Jack. And I think he said it 2 or 3 times. Y'all go look at that video. It would have been either the last one or the next to last video that they just put out. And he called it a Texas Jack, and it had round bolsters.
Right.
Get out of here.
So
that's what I was wondering too, because now I saw this on Shepherd Hills that they were calling some of the 87 models a Texas Jack also, but it's got the round bolsters. It doesn't have the square bolsters. And I thought that if it was, a Texas jack, that it would have the square bolsters and not the round ones.
That's right. Right. Andrew's got one. Andrew's got one. Is yours a jack or pen?
I don't know why they call it a medium Texas Jack, but it's got round bolsters. And to me, a Texas Jack is
the one.
square bolsters. So I don't know what's going on.
They don't know what they're doing.
To me, it's just a medium jackknife. I don't know why they put Texas there, and because the Texas Jack they're coming out with, and it's bigger and it has square bolsters. So
right, because the Texas Jack, the 33 pattern, or is it? I think it's the 33.
32.
This is 32.
Yeah.
Is that a 32?
This is an 87. This is an 87 I got from Shepherd Hills. But yeah, to me, this is not a Texas Jack. It's just
that's 87.
But I don't know why they call it a Texas. But
yeah,
right, because that was the whole thing with, and even if you look at the Texas Jack, the blades are different than what's on the 087, and the blades are bigger, which definitely goes with Texas. Mm-hmm. Yes, Tom.
I have a question. Is there a difference between a swell center jack and a swell Texas jack?
I never heard of a swell Texas Jack.
I think the Texas Jack is just a swell center jack, right? Is that one and the same thing?
No. Swell center jack is a swell center. The way I was taught is a swell center jack is a swell center.
That's a small swell center jack from Case, and it's square.
To me, well, yeah.
Is that the same as a Texas Jack?
Yeah, but the cap end is round.
Right. That's what I was going to say. The cap end is round.
So the Texas is square on both ends.
Right. Texas is square on both ends.
On both ends.
Yeah.
So there's a difference between a Texas Jack and a swell center jack.
Yes.
What you're saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Where they muddied up the water, Andrew, on yours was the advertisement and the billing even called it a Texas Jack, or is that just what TC's calling it?
That's what Shepherd Hills called it. I don't know why.
Was it on the box? Did it list it as a Texas
Yeah,
Jack?
here, let me get the box.
Because I'm wondering if Case called it that or not.
Yeah, on the box it says smooth medium Texas Jack.
Wow.
Which I don't know why, because they're coming out with the Texas Jack pattern, so it's going to add to the confusion. Maybe the normal Texas Jack is just a normal size, which I think is about 4 inches or 3 7/8 or something.
3.5, I think. What is the dimensions on yours, Andrew?
3 1/4.
Yeah, see, this one is 3 5/8.
Yeah, that would be a true Texas Jack, I think.
You see what I'm talking about? They can muddy up the water, and you don't know what in the world's going on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Randy's stuck on 1981. But
is he stuck on 1981 or in 1981?
I think both. He's saying if your Levine's guide is not from 1981, just throw that in the trash, Tom.
Okay. You want to know what it's? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I am looking forward to Case releasing the Texas Jacks. I'm not sure when they're coming out again because I don't see them for sale much anymore.
Yeah, I'm glad I picked one up when I did, because then they seem like that's right when they started going away.
Well, Cal and I just had this conversation not too long ago, a few days ago, talking about how excited I was that they were going to come back out with the original pattern of the Texas Jack. Because if they do, that's, I intend on buying everything that they got. I actually want to collect those. But then you got yours, Andrew, and then when I watch it, SMKW and TC referred to it as Texas Jack, I'm thinking, if that's going to be the new Texas Jack, then I'm confused.
No, there was I think it was Silverbeard on Instagram posted a picture of all the new Case patterns that are coming out, and they did have the Texas Jack separate from the medium Jack.
Okay.
Yeah. I know I want to get more Barlows too.
Yes, for sure. Looks. Is that a Texas Jack there?
Let's see what Cal has.
No, I'm just sticking to the rules here. I got a Stockman.
Good man. Good man.
I have a 6392, which also has what I would consider a large Texas Jack. They make in that pattern as well, with the squared bolsters. But this is this one is the slender 6392 with the hidden sheep's foot from the factory, and it comes with the easy open for the spay blade there. And then I also have, and this one is a 1971. And I've got a 1978 here, 6392, an Appaloosa bone that has the sheep's foot showing, and no easy open on the bone. And they're both in a carbon steel. This one is extremely hard to open. I wouldn't say it's a 10 though, probably a 9 or an 8, and has really good color bone on the back there. Pretty dark on the front, quite dark actually, and that is the I guess second to the largest Stockman that I have. There's the red bone one.
And that 92, it's what, like 4 inches?
It is closed 4 inches.
Yeah.
Comes with a big old sheep's foot. I mean, it's huge, huge sheep's foot.
Yeah, it's like the 75,
Right.
which that was one of the things that attracted me to the 75 pattern was that big sheep's foot. Yes, sir, Tom.
I have an answer.
What was the question?
The single-ended jack that is based on the premium stock knife is called the premium jack. The premium jack has several double-ended counterparts. The most impressive of these is the Texas jack or moose. Texas jacks are big, usually at least 3 7/8 inches long. I believe their size accounts for their Texas name, while the large blade out of each end must have reminded someone of bull moose giant antlers. The master blade of a Texas jack is always a wide clip. The second blade is a spear or a long, wide spay. So here's pictures, if you can see it. The top one is of a Schrade Texas jack, and then there's a case-tested XX Texas jack, and that's what they look like.
Here,
The top one is a Schrade.
Get out of here. That's not a Texas Jack.
Yeah.
Tom, you must have got a book from China.
Nope.
That's the early Texas Jacks, I bet.
Yeah.
Now remember, knife companies come out with blade types and frames, and they name them whatever they want. So the one in the book is an older Texas Jack, and they may have changed the pattern on them.
It is. So we got there, Taylor. We're getting ready to wrap this thing up, but
It's
go
just
ahead.
the 92 pattern in the Jack.
All right, let's take a look at it.
That is all.
That is all.
6292 with the easy open there for the pin blade. It does not have it on the opposite end. On I bought it from eBay, and that's how they sold it, was the 6292 large Texas Jack. But clearly
Well, like
we're
I
all
said,
confused.
Case may have changed the pattern. I mean,
Right.
the picture in that book is an older one, much older.
Definitely.
So what used to be called a Texas Jack, maybe that's not what. Maybe everyone's modified the frame on them now, and they're different. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like the style of the blade, call it a modified whatever, right?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Or just change the number, and that's a whole different thing.
Apparently, that's too hard to do. Just change one number.
Well, I mean, I think consistency across the knife companies has always been something that they've never followed. That's for sure. That's why it's such a fun hobby for us, because there is no definitive answer on really anything.
Yeah.
So
If I wanted to design a 3-inch double-ended jack and I wanted to call it a Texas Jack, no one's going to stop me. I can sell it as a Texas Jack. I can name it anything I want.
there you go. And Zen
That's right.
says the pictures in the book are pens, not jacks. So who are you going to believe?
Well, Levin is supposed to be, quote, the expert, right?
There you go. That's what he says. And I got mine right here, Tom. I got this the other day. It came in. This is the one, the edition after yours. So
Yep.
we'll look it up afterwards. We'll have a cup of coffee and argue.
So Joe Messer HQ's asking, or made the comment, double end jack question mark. Yes, if you take a little pen knife, technically you can call that a double-ended jack.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that question, we'll go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. Does anybody have anything else that they want to say to the audience or to the panel or anything else?
Yeah, let's hold up our honorable mentions at the end, why don't we?
Okay. You know
what I mean?
We'll start with you if you're ready.
Yeah. Just real quick, these are my German Stockmans. I have Zwilling and 2 fighting roosters, one in celluloid, one in stag, and the other one is in blue crow's foot jig. So, real quick, wanted to get those in there.
Nice. Did you have any honorable mentions? You got some, Tom?
I got one quick one here.
Okay.
This is my latest Buck 301. It's one of the early models. Buck started making their own in 1986, and this is a 1987. So this is a Buck-made Buck, and it has a different inlay there with the lettering. And they only had that on like the 86 and 87 models before they switched to the regular shield. So I've not done a review on it, but this is the latest in filling in my Buck 301 collection.
Very nice.
Yep, this has been fun, Mike. And thank you, Jeroen. You're welcome. You got something there, Terry?
Yeah, I try to keep my good standings with my friend Tom, little Buck 373.
There you go.
With the red wood handles.
Yep.
Dandy little knife. I mean, just got plenty of good snappability about it. Built real well, 3 back springs. Very good, very good.
Yep.
My final thoughts would be, thank you so much, Darren, for joining us. It was absolutely wonderful. I hope you enjoyed it, and I want to congratulate you ahead of time on your channel growth. But you just keep digging, keep pushing, and it'll come to you.
Absolutely. Yep, I'll say it again. If you haven't checked out Darren's channel, go to LD's Knives and give him a sub and check out what he's got going on over there. It's good stuff. I have to keep Tom happy too. So Tom, I'm gonna show you my my very favorite Buck Stockman. It's the 303, the Cadet, and this is an awesome knife. I love the size of this. It's very pocketable. And of course, they have the 3 springs on here. Although they did it wrong, because they said the sheep's foot is the most used blade, but Jeroen and I know it should be the spay, or this case it has a pen, but that should be on your middle springs, not the sheep's foot. But that's just me.
Somebody wanted a link for LD's pocket knives. I'm putting it up right now.
Oh, and Randy's WSG wants to give himself a shameless plug. Of course. We're all about shameless plugs here.
Absolutely.
What you got? 1 minute two. 1 minute knife review. We need to make sure his channel is posted if you didn't do that before.
I think I did, but I'll do it again.
Awesome.
You bet.
Yeah, what's your plug, Randy, before we go? Yep, Big J is next for sure. Yep, Big J is going to be next. And there's a link for LD's pocket knives.
I'm getting a 1 minute knife review in there
Okay,
right now.
there you
Boom.
go.
There it goes.
All right, Randy's WSG. He has 951 subs. He's doing a 1K giveaway and giving away a case knife.
Hold on just a moment. It says it's a bad link on LD's. Well, let me try this again.
Okay. So let's, yeah, for sure. If you have not subscribed to Randy's WSG, you may want to go ahead and do that. And let's get involved in his case knife giveaway. And that is something that we can definitely get behind, Randy. So you are close, my friend.
Okay, this is what I put in there. Outdoors, fishing, boating, traditional knives. Also enjoy making and customizing knives and axes. So I'm copying the link.
Yep, because everybody likes Randy. That's right, Jerome. We do. And yeah, I didn't show all the Stockman knives that I have, but I think I'm going to start joining in on the Saturday Stockman Stampede because it's a fun way to show off, some more knives that I have. Oh yeah, and Zen Ali, I'm going to tell you guys, he has some awesome musical taste. He has all kinds of playlists. So check out his channel on YouTube and check out his playlists of different musical stuff. Oh, there you go. Gary the Last Ranger, he's here. He's saying, did YouTube strip some of your subs, Randy? He thought you had more.
Yeah. I don't know why they're saying that LD's link isn't working, and I don't know why.
It says take out the period at the end of the link, Tom.
Oh, there you go.
That may be what it is.
Because I'm copying just like a normal. There's a little period on there.
Yeah, at the very end.
You want to see it now?
And then
yeah, while Tom's fixing this, sure. We'll take a look at it.
Okay, try that one without the period at the end.
Yeah, try that link now and let's see if it goes there.
We can't show Stockman's without showing a 75 pattern. So here's my 1965, 1969 red bone, brand new 75 pattern.
Wow.
This thing is immaculate.
That's awesome.
Guy was carrying it around at the flea market in his pocket. I said, let me buy that thing off of you. He agreed. So
nice.
Yeah. 75.
Yeah, he said
Aaron, I don't know why your link is not working.
I was just having a look.
Because they're saying even when I took the period off the end, it wasn't working.
Must be something to do with being from the future.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I'm just trying it myself.
Computers can't keep up.
I think Junior hacked in your computer, Tom.
That could be.
Yeah, there you go. People are finding him just by searching, so that is cool. Yeah, Jerome says the link will work tomorrow. Yeah. we have to wait till Monday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No, that's good. No, it's been a good show. Thank you for having me on. Yeah,
we were glad to have you, and we'd like to have you come back again, and we'll try to do better on what knives you have, so we can talk about stuff you actually own.
Oh no, that's all right. That's no problem. Yeah.
Of course, maybe the next time we see you, you'll have a couple Stockman. Who knows?
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
sounds like it.
It's just
All
like
right.
I say, there's too many. The list's too big.
Yeah, it is. It is a huge list. That's for sure. You'll never get them all, so just get the ones you like.
Don't
Yeah.
mean
What if
can't
you
try.
like them all?
What was that, Terry?
What if you like them all?
Then I guess you're gonna have to get them all.
It was nice to meet you, Darren.
Yeah, likewise.
Nice to see everyone else again.
Yeah.
See you, Tom.
All right, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and end it on this note. Thank you for joining us, and thank you if you're watching the replay. We appreciate all of you guys. I want you to go out and have a great week this week, and we'll see you in the videos later this week. Take it easy, guys.
See y'all next time.
All right.